You know, it's been a while since I've been so excited after watching a show, and especially since I haven't been reviewing, to the point to where sometimes it's hard to, find those words to say. You want to, cry these tears of enjoyment, passion, or whatever it may be, but you just don't know necessarily what to say. And when watching this episode of Tower of God, I'll say this, and hopefully my camera doesn't die. I thought it was going to be ReZero that really kind of gave me that oomph to get back into this heavily, and it wasn't that. It was Tower of God. What this show showcased to me, this final episode and throughout this series, was nothing short of what great animes do. But now it's set the bar for manhwas. I can't believe it skips so much content from the book, but yet it's presented itself so nicely, and that's hats off to the studio. That's all you. That's all credit's all yours, director. I mean, whoever's directing this is just doing a phenomenal job of still getting the point across while still, putting this stuff out there to make sense and have a narrative that's being told in the correct way. It's nothing short of impressive. And if you're watching the show, you're being spoiled. So this episode, we find out the truth about everything that's going on with Rachel. We find out that Rachel's simply someone who has put on a persona, someone who has fought the internal battle about Bam and what to do with the whole situation. But at the same time, we do still find out to the core she knew what she was going to do. We just know that she did somewhat struggle with it. Now, looking at other things with, what happened in this episode, though, the director, he's a piece, just as much as Rachel is. We've also learned that Lero is an amazing character. I was hoping he'd play that anti-hero role, but no, he's a good person. We find that out today. He's trying to find the truth about the tower, and he's already someone who's ascended it. And Bam, at the end, kind of iterates that, saying, no, I'm going to climb the tower, but I'm going to find those answers, because just climbing is part of the job. You can climb it and not find the right answers. I'm finding those answers. And we see that ending sequence with Bam grown up. Long hair. The Navigator said it was going to be some time. Little did you know that the Navigator was also going to betray him. And here we are at the end of season 1, wishing season 2 was starting now. But, man, I got to say this as well, because there's just so many things to talk about. I'm so excited. I got the jitters. I mean, the scene also to where we have Lyra walking out, and you see the reactions of the characters saying they couldn't find a trace of Bam, Rax crying and screaming. That scream and cry really set the tone for that moment. Wow. But the scene where Rack, and sorry my camera died, but the scene where Rack is screaming and we see Dorsey and we see, Khun, and we see especially Anak and Dorsey's reaction and that just screaming, hey, I'm not holding it back. I'm going to fully wear my heart on the sleeve by Rack there. And him screaming, I love that. I absolutely adored that scene there, and it really set the tone, because then you have Leraro walking, and he's pissed. Like, that just reminded me of, like, one of those Subaru walks, and he's just pissed off, like, no, I'm not dealing with this anymore. You know what I mean? I just love that look, and you see him. He confronts the director. He's not afraid of him. He says, what the hell, man? What's going on here? You know what I mean? He's like, listen, obviously, you know that I know. Let's just fucking talk about it. And I love that. And you find out that he quits, and he's asking the red-haired guy to go with him. He's like, don't you want to find out the truth too? And that's a Ranker saying that, which tells a lot. And you have the red-haired girl that is a Navigator that looked to be on you's side. But it turns out, no, she's actually here to train Bam. This is kind of probably a plan of hers to allow Bam to get separation from the group so he can go train, because she knows that he's not ready, but he is the answer. You are the key, but the key has not been shaped yet to fit in the hole of the door. And that's exactly what's going on with Bam. And she knows that. She's like, it's going to be a few years. And, even Yuri said, come see me on the 77th floor. And so remember, when Bam gets back, he's supposed to go do that. And clearly, Bam has been gone for a couple years. And the red-haired girl said it would be some time before you see her again. And obviously, Bam is going to grow into someone who he's killing these monsters. He's slaying them. He's, that's going to harden him. He's taking other creatures, monsters' lives and stuff like that. That's not the Bam we know. That's not the Bam that we even ever saw try to do something like that outside of whenever he did it at the very beginning with the eel. So Bam's going to be an independent person. Obviously, he's going to have a couple of years to think about this. It's going to groom him. He's going to grow as a person. We as people, whenever we go back and think about things that happened in our past, we do that regardless because it's human nature, especially if it's someone you specifically care about. This will harden Bam. This will lack his empathy, and I can't wait to see Rachel's face. I can't believe Kun was talking about how they're going to change the tower, and Rachel's sitting there laughing, and then you see her straighten her face out in order to, get ready for the funeral thing. What a POS. And I'm glad Kun called her out. Kun knows something's up. He doesn't know exactly what it is, but he knows something fucking happened. He's like, you wouldn't know. He saw her there. He's like, if you knew how much Bam loved you, you wouldn't be here. And that statement was basically saying, because you wouldn't be able to handle it. That's how much he loved you. And if you would have known that, you wouldn't be fucking here. And I love that scene. Kun's such a great character. He's one of my favorite characters I've seen in years. I'm not saying he's my favorite, but he's one of them. He's very good. He's always, pushing the plot, always pushing the strategies, and doing the, being somehow involved in a plot twist in ways that we don't even foresee coming. So I love the character, man. I adore the character, really. He's such a good character. Rack's such a great character in weird ways. He's not a deep character at all, but he is a great character to just ricochet things off of. But let's rewind this now that I got all that craziness out of the way here. One last thing. You also did say, to close out kind of like this arc of the video about you and Kun and all that stuff going on, he also said now all the princesses of Jihad think Bam's dead. So what does that mean? Why do all the princesses, including Yuri, clearly he was stating, because Yuri is there, need to know he's gone? And what was the comment about the desire? We need to use her as bait in order to, because I actually thought I had this written down. I really do want to quote this. But he says, the director to see if the boy is what we desire. That's interesting. That's very interesting. I really wanted to make sure, I had that comment there, so I kept my notebook there so I could read off that because I knew I was going to forget it. But we look at what happened in the beginning. We see Rachel, because I do want to reiterate this really quick. Rachel struggles. She goes back and forth. I know what I want to do. I know I'm down to do this to Bam in order to reach the top of the tower. But yet at the same time, there is a hesitance, but I know I'm going to do it. And she even says, if you don't get away from me, I'm going to do it. But at the same time, she soaks in the fact that she did it. So it's just so messed up to me. It's just like, you don't have the right to act innocent and or feel bad about something whenever you are firmly monologuing to yourself saying, I'm going to do it, and then you're laughing about it later. Like, what the hell? I mean, obviously there's some kind of demented personality going on there, because Head-On called her stupid. Head-On said that you have an ugliness seeping from you, which was him iterating, saying you are a selfish, greedy person. You want the stars. No, you don't. You want to be a star. You want what Bam has, and she even says she was jealous of the man. Disgusting. So, with that being said, Bam thought you were a star, Rachel. You're the only star in his eyes, the only star in the sky to him. But you're nothing more than a burnt out one. You'll never be a real star. So, season 2 win. But other than that, though, guys, I truly enjoyed this show. I thought it was going to be ReZero that brought me back into the game. Just woke me up from my slumber, per se. But it was Tower of God. Manuals are here. Tower of God's here. Season 2 win. As always, guys, be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe if you want to, and follow me on Twitter, X25. Thank you so much for watching. And Tower of God, thank you so much for the experience.